morning. Welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, March 17th, 2010, St. Patrick's Day. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in the U.S. It's 3:30 p.m. in London. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. We'll go right to our main news right now. This came out late Monday, but we didn't cover it yesterday, so we just want to give it some attention. A federal appeals court said that Lloyd's of London must pay claims-related expenses to alleged swindler Alan Stanford's defense. Stanford, his former chief investment officer Laura Holt, and former accounting executives Mark Kurt and Gilbert Lopez sued Lloyd's after they stopped paying coverage under a director's and officer's policy last year. Lloyd's cited a money laundering exclusion. However, a federal district court judge in Houston ruled in January that Lloyd's must pay costs and expenses that had been submitted by Stanford and his lawyers. Lloyd's appealed that decision to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit in New Orleans, and on Monday, the court upheld Hittner's ruling but also sent the case back to the district court for additional arguments on the coverage question. Lloyd's must pay in the meantime. The court said the underwriters are enjoined from refusing to advance defense costs as provided for in the policy unless a court determines in fact that money laundering has occurred. The defendants are charged with defrauding investors in a $7 billion Ponzi scheme centered around certificates of deposits in Stanford's Antiguan Bank. Stanford and the other defendants have denied wrongdoing. He's waiting in a Houston jail for his January 2011 trial. That seems a little bit far off. The Hartford said yesterday that it plans to make a $2.38 billion public offering of common shares and debt to help finance the repurchase of the $3.4 billion U.S. in preferred shares that is sold to the government under the TARP program. Following a recent consultation with the Office of Thrift Supervision, the Hartford said that it would sell about $1.4 billion in common shares, $500 million in mandatory convertible preferred, and issue $425 million in senior notes to pay back the TARP. With the close of the repurchase, the Treasury will hold warrants to buy around 52 million Hartford shares at an exercise price of $9.79. Liam McGee, the CEO of Hartford, said, this is nice, "We appreciate the critical role the government and American taxpayers have played in stabilizing the financial markets, and we are pleased to announce a plan to repurchase Treasury's investment in fewer than 10 months. Hartford is one of a handful of American insurers that acquired a small thrift institution so as to qualify for funding under TARP. More loss estimates relating to Chile and the European windstorm. Hiscox has now said that it estimates it faces £100 million worth of claims as a result of the Chilean earthquake and the European windstorm Xynthia. The Bermuda-based insurer said that loss estimation, particularly around the very severe Chilean quake, remains at an early stage, so considerable uncertainties exist. Tom Bolt, the newly appointed head of underwriting at Lloyd's, has warned that the Chile loss experience may echo Northridge, the 1994 U.S. quake, where the reinsurance industry constantly raised its loss estimates as the scale of the damage became more apparent. Hiscox said that we write no specific Chilean reinsurance, but we have exposure through underwriting of global and regional reinsurance and retrocession programs. Also, Montpelier came in with an estimate. They say that they're projecting net losses of between $75 million and $100 million from the Chilean quake. The announcement takes the published Chilean loss count from Bermuda reinsurers now over the $1 billion mark. Partner Re leads the pack with up to $320 million in loss projections. Validus, Everest, and Axis have all reported losses over $100 million. Less than 20 reinsurers have reported losses so far, but the published figures already accumulate to more than $3 billion. This is according to the Insurance Insider. And Swiss Re has come out with one of their Sigma studies. They say that natural cats and man-made disasters caused insured losses of $26 billion in 2009. 2009 ranks as the 11th most expensive year for catastrophes since Sigma began collecting national cat data in 1970. Losses, however, were minimal compared to the $117 billion in insured losses that were racked up in 2005. Economic losses for the year came to $62 billion, and there were 15,000 fatalities. Of the 288 catastrophic events, 133 were natural and 155 were man-made. Storms cost insurers the most, with Klaus causing insured losses of $3.4 billion in France and Spain. Hailstorm Wolfgang caused $1.2 billion in insured losses in Central Europe. U.S. weather events in February, April, and June each caused losses of more than $1 billion, and bushfires in Australia caused insured losses of more than $1 billion. According to Swiss Re, North America contributed 48.2% of the insured loss, while Europe contributed 29.3%. Stock market in New York now is up about 50 points. We'll go to a word from our sponsors.
Every day, the world wakes up and goes to work, pursuing the unique opportunities that lead the global economy forward. The complexity and close connectivity of today's global marketplace is a true modern miracle that can create unparalleled success. But it takes confidence, passion, innovation, and understanding.
Enabling opportunity.
Protecting capital.
Engineering innovation.
Investing in your future.
Ensuring continuity.
Finding the right balance.
It takes Aon.
There was a earthquake in Los Angeles yesterday. It was nothing to sneeze at. It was a 4.4. The quake struck about 11 miles east-southeast of the Los Angeles Civic Center. It was at a depth of about 11 miles. There were no immediate reports of damage, according to reports. Meanwhile, in Fiji, the Prime Minister has said that the powerful tropical storm Cyclone Tomas that hit the South Pacific island nation has inflicted overwhelming damage. Prime Minister was speaking as the storm battered the country's northern islands for a third day, forcing more than 17,000 people to take refuge in government shelters. The Fiji government has declared a state of emergency, and international relief supplies began arriving there this morning. Meteorologists designated Tomas a Category 4 storm, the second largest on a 5-point scale, with winds averaging up to 175 kilometers per hour. The United Nations says that 150,000 Fijians may have been directly affected by the storm, but fortunately there's only been one death reported so far. Well, Honda now is recalling. They're recalling 344,000 Odyssey vans and 68,000 Element SUVs in the United States only from the 2007-2008 model years. The complaint is that the brake pedals felt soft or the pedal height gradually lowered. Of course, this comes in the wake of the Toyota recall. Honda is recalling the vehicles to modify their vehicle stability assist modulators, some of which were assembled in a way that could allow air to enter the modulator. Over months or years, the entry of air could result in such soft or low brake pedal issues. Honda said that not all the recalled vehicles are affected, but all units are being brought back as a precaution. Well, this is an interesting story. You periodically read